Parents kiss on glasses.
Hello guys, what's up? Welcome to 2024 once more. It's been a great time. It's been a great year so far. We're happy to have you guys be here with us on YouTube or Spotify, whatever platform you're using to watch us or listen to us. It's a new time. It's a new year. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be here again. So today, we want to welcome you to another amazing episode of the Gist and Glasses podcast. My name is MC Mute, and of course, you know, I'm not here in the studio alone. I'm here with my guys, my homies. What's up, Joseph? Let me start with you. How you doing, bro?
Yo, how far? How
What's
are you
up,
doing?
man? How's it been?
It's been good. You said New Year and you're still in 2024.
Sorry,
This is
man.
2025.
The thing
Yeah.
they click. You know that thing.
2024 was good. It was good for you, yeah.
2025
You
is
made
back.
money, but
Yeah,
2025 will
yeah,
be
now.
better,
You know
bro.
that thing with New Year where you're trying to like switch, change dates and all of that. You keep like, like I've been doing this thing all week. I hope to like get it.
Please
back.
clock in. Get in.
Welcome to
get in.
2025. That's the point.
Okay,
And then
okay.
of course the deep dive for Kashi.
What's up, guys?
What's
It's one
up, bro?
love from here.
Kashi posted a picture. He said he needs more animals.
Trust
I don't know
me,
anything what he said.
More animals.
more
Yeah.
animals.
You're saying he needs more animals. I don't know whether he wants to have a zoo or what.
I would love to do that in the future, man. I love giraffes.
Amazing.
Okay.
Oh, right. Really?
I need giraffes.
When he said he loves giraffe, I can't remember that guy for what's me that movie? Jack Galifianakis. You sabi him?
No.
Huh? Gilliana.
Hangover. That guy that did Hangover. That guy
Hangover.
that has beard.
Okay.
Don't know Jack.
I'm talking
Galifianakis?
about
No, I don't know.
Zach.
Zach Galifianakis. I did Hangover. That
I
movie.
know him.
You know him now. That guy that has beard. That
Yeah.
American actor. Well, that's besides the point. Okay, guys. Today we're going to be talking about parenting, and the topic for today is going to be what would you do differently as a parent. Now, a lot of our mates, peers are beginning to become parents. Like they're getting married every now and then. Every Saturday there's Owambe. So
Crazy.
we just wanted to like find out these new parents that we're gonna have. We and you and
I hope it's a wake-up call for you. Your peers.
nigga chill. Man's balling.
It's about time.
Man's it's not about
It's
anything.
about time.
Well, you now, what would you do differently as a parent?
As a parent.
Let's know.
Through that differently as a parent, for me, you have to start from where your own experience is. So it's
Yeah.
definitely your background. Well, I won't answer the question plainly, like flat out like that, because that would just be another conversation. But I think starting out as a parent, it's firstly recognizing that your child is a person of his own or her own, so quote unquote. And this is in the sense not relegating your responsibility or your authority in any way, but rather just allowing that child be an individual as much as that child is an extension of you, so to say, but allowing that child become the individual that the person actually wants to be. So in the beginning, I feel like I would have to recognize that my kid, as much as I would want my kid to do things my way and all of that, but I have to recognize that my kid is an individual on their own and see them in that respect and see how you can hone that individuality and how you can grow for them. So yeah, that would be my first approach.
You know, when talking about this whole thing, I feel like the way you answered the question is probably like, okay, maybe you having a flashback of your own growing upbringing and then seeing that, okay, how do I do it better? Because we all want to be better parents. We all want to be better than even our own parents.
Definitely.
So it's more like from when the question came in, I was like, okay, what would you do? There's, to be honest, there's a lot. Like there's really a lot. Like you said, understanding the individuality of a particular child, because I want to have a bunch of kids, like Elon Musk.
You should start now. Brother. The time is now.
We want to have like 6
Yeah, like-
kids.
What is 6? What are you talking about? I saw one tweet that that we are losing our culture as Nigerians. How can an Idoma family have 2 kids? You know, usually,
that says a lot.
usually, like, if there's anything I like about the one, is the fact that the women are very, very fruitful and fertile.
Wow.
Like, those women, they lead.
Applause for them.
Like,
Applause.
that's
Shout out
Round
to
of
them,
applause
the
for
real
them.
African. That's the real African.
Plenty
way
children.
of, yes, plenty children. Like, there's enough to go around. There's a lot of farmland, so everybody.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He will acquire this cultivating.
There's a lot of farmland, so you can't be hungry.
You want to use this case on manual labor?
You know, are you sure I'm trying to have kids
There's a lot of them.
or plantations?
As long as they are my own, they are working for the family.
Mhm.
But so I feel like understanding the individuality of every child is very, very important, because
Mhm.
you are able to know that the way you treat the first child is not the same way you're going to treat the second child, because they are two different people. And I feel like you shouldn't have a benchmark of scale that you use to measure everybody.
Every single child.
Everyone is individually amazing and great in their own way. So you must understand that these people have their uniqueness, you know, and it also boils down to like our educational system, because that's why we try to conform everybody to act in one particular way, you get, and then you can't get the best out of everybody, because okay, this person on one hand is good with this particular thing, this person is good with the other thing. When you can't use the same metric to measure their success rate or their abilities, you understand? But I just feel like we must really understand that one of the most important things is pushing them to be the best version of themselves.
Mm.
I think that's like I noticed that almost every footballer right now, their kids are playing football, you know. So for me, I don't think I would want my kids to do the same thing. Not like I have a problem with it, you know, but I feel like everybody has his or her own different calling. So we shouldn't want to force our kids to, if that is the calling of the entire family, and that is the calling of, because you see families that everybody is a doctor, everybody is a nurse, everybody is a
Lawyer.
Their family is like that. Everybody
Whole
is
family of lawyers.
entirely, and you can clearly see that they are all good at that particular thing. So you just know that this is not just a career for them. It's actually like a calling. Everybody is good with this particular thing. So understanding the uniqueness of every individual is key.
Important.
It's very, very, very important.
Mhm.
Gosh.
For me, I feel like what I would do differently as a parent, and I've been thinking about this in my head a lot, it's very important to have vision if you want to be a parent.
So have what?
Vision.
Oh, okay.
Vision. You know, especially if you're going to be,
For you to have vision for the child.
well, vision for everything. But like, let me put it this way. Like, you have to understand, like, you as a guy now, like, the role you're going to accommodate as a father, you know, as a provider, as a protector. You have to understand that thing is going to flow into the life of your child. You have to understand how to create the outcome, a desirable outcome. It's like you have to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people get married because society told them to get married. You know, they just said it was that time. Their parents just told them, open up and do something. Like, it was more like a push rather than taking an intentional journey. You find out that along the line, it's not, when it doesn't get rosy or it takes itself away from that pleasant side, then it just turns into something. So like, one thing I know I'll do differently as a parent is that I have to be intentional about, I'm going to raise these kids, like, where do I want to assist you? Because I can't tell you who to become, but I can give you guidance from my experience to where you want to get to, at least to educate you into who you want to become in the future. So having that vision in your head is very important.
Do you think the parents of today, as it is right now, the parents that we have, do you think these parents are preparing their kids for the future? Now, the reason I'm saying this, or do you think parents in the home, in the household, do you think they're preparing their kids for the world, like what's happening out there? Because okay, I was having a conversation with my neighbor today, and about her son, I just feel like the boy is over pampered.
Yeah.
You know? He's over, whatever he wants, he gets. You know, he's there's an unpleasant situation, he cries, you know. And I told her, I said, the way you're treating this boy, do you think when he leaves your house, that's how every other person out there is going to treat him? Because you are preparing in the house, he's very, very comfortable, you know. But by the time he leaves the house and goes out there, people don't care about your feelings as a person. You have to deliver. So the question, do you think parents are doing a great job, like training these kids for what is waiting for them outside? Because you're not training them to stay in your sitting room and like have all of their lives in your sitting room. They are going to go out there. They are going to go to school. They are going to go to uni, get jobs. They are going to have terrible bosses, bully bosses. Do you think those children are ready for the world out there?
Well, I like Cash to say maybe say something on
When I think about this thing, I think about like two generations of parenting. I'm thinking about Gen Z parents. I'm thinking about our own parents now that Gen Z experience. You know, we're going to be the last generation that had like that textbook African parenting. And okay, our own textbook African parenting was very by the book. You know, our parents were like conformists. When it was their time, everything was given access, or everything was access to, like everything they wanted, they were aware of. It was because it was like government provided, or at least it was a unifying stance. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like unlike us now that we have social media, we have the internet, we have so many sources of information, so many networking skills and opportunities that everybody is becoming powerful in their individual way. They found power by going together as a group. So looking at it now, one thing I'm sure about with Gen Z parents is that okay, Gen Z parents want to have a more hands-on approach with their kids. It's like okay, a more hands-on approach. They want to be more present emotionally. Like, you know, we've learned a lot from our parents, and then we've crisscrossed it with, you know, let's say Western standards of parenting, but then also with our own emotional experiences. Like, okay, when I was young, what I really needed was this and that. And then, you know, have you ever had a feeling when you felt like your parents overreacted for a situation that you just needed guidance on? And so that's what I just think it is. Like, even though some parents right now are pampering their kids for sure, just like what Mute said, you find it sometimes where it's like, you see a child, like, child is moving the opposite direction based on how you see things. And then parents are just letting the child, like, just do what you want, like, you can just. But then the things that you should train a child in the way it should be, so that when it's like not depart from it. But if you're letting that child take consequences lightly, that's a bad end.
Yeah, I agree with you, but there's also something I want to point out is that parents most times based off of their experiences, most times they don't want their kids to maybe have similar experiences or so. Or let's say for instance, the parent that is coming from lack would definitely not want to put his child in that situation of lack. That parent will do everything possible to ensure that that child doesn't have to face that lack. I just want to go a little bit deeper and what we're talking about, maybe deeper within ourselves. Yeah. So I want to ask each of us, whoever that feels free to start can. But what parenting style were you brought up with? And okay, what parenting style were you brought up with? And for you, would you still adopt that parenting style, or would you choose an alternative? So, what parenting style were you brought up with?
I would say because I actually wanted to ask this question.
Yeah.
But the way I wanted to put the question is
Gotcha.
The way I wanted to put the question is, what parenting style are you going to use? Traditional African parenting style or the Western? You get. But the question is technically different, so we are going to still go back to that question.
Yeah.
I feel I was brought up with the traditional African parenting style. I feel like our parents, for us,
for you,
all of us generally, we practically grew up with the traditional African style of parenting. So they had almost all the control, over us, because there was less information, there was no internet, so the information you had was limited. Like, it was highly limited to not like now that information is everywhere. Like your
Yeah.
mom can come and start arguing with you that she saw something on TikTok. You get the point now, and then she's trying to argue with you, and you're trying to explain to them that no. Information is everywhere. Anybody can put up information on the internet. But then the point is, I feel like all of us we grew up with the traditional African training where they spank you, when you are wrong, and then parents had, to a large extent, absolute authority and power, over all the children. Not like now where it's kind of negotiable. I feel like I don't know how to put this right now, but then we for me as a parent, I feel like the best format to use is going to be like a combination of both styles, because Western style of parenting I think it has its advantages and it has a lot of disadvantages, because you don't give a child unnecessary free will, you get. So I just feel like the traditional African style that our parents use for us, I feel like is the best for us. It's totally the best for us.
How about you, Cash? What parenting style were you brought up with, and what's your own approach moving forward?
Okay. I was brought up with this same thing that Mute said, traditional parenting style. So it was a lot more authoritative than understanding. One thing I hated hearing growing up was when I asked a question and it's like, okay, why can't I do this? Is it because I told you so? Or because I said? And it's like, that doesn't satisfy the curiosity. Another thing is that, I was raised in like say perfectionist household, high standards. So everything you're doing, you must do it well. Like you must do it to the point that it's aesthetic, to the point that it's pleasing to the eye of whoever. And it's also like, so there's a lot of pressure now, to get it done right. And there was not a lot of space
for mistakes.
Yes, mistakes were forbidden. Yeah. But then that's how you learn.
Yeah.
But then
sorry, before you
okay.
I feel like like you said, you made mention of the authoritative style, and which I totally admire, but I just feel, and I think with studies and understanding, our parents did not train us with having the psychological information that children have. So now they tell you, do this, do that. Whether they are right or wrong, you just have to do it, which is good on the one hand. The flip side is, on the other hand, psychologically, there's a stage a child gets to that that authoritativeness may not drive home the message. You must understand that what we want is for the best for our children as parents. You understand? Now, every parent wants what's best for the child. Now, trying to achieve that may now become a problem if you don't understand the psychological part of human beings. Why? Because I feel like you want this child to do a certain thing, there's a place for that authority, that authoritativeness, which is, I believe, that tender age. When a child is an infant, is growing up, is coming, the child must understand that my parents have absolute power and authority. When the child becomes a teenager, yes, the parent has absolute power and authority, but you must understand that there's something in the mind of a teenager that does not do well with that authoritativeness. Now, at that point, you want to achieve success. What you must understand is that you must be able to bring the child to, okay, now understand the reason why he or she is doing what he's doing, so that tomorrow the child doesn't make decisions based on, my father said so. Okay, if your father said something that is wrong, doesn't mean that you are going to go ahead and do it. Why? Because my father said so. So people must now get to the point where you give commands, your children, they obey, to the point where, okay, before you give the commands, you call them like, okay, now I want you to do this, and this is the reason why. I feel like when people understand the purpose behind a certain action, you don't need to use brute force, especially with dealing with teenagers. I really don't think force is going to call it out, just like we had, because there are times where your father will beat like me. They don't beat me there. Like I had a lot of beating. But then, how much results did that beating actually like bring? You get most of it was not the beating. It was as a result of you sitting down to think, okay, this thing I'm doing, is it actually the right thing or is it the wrong thing? So I feel like that's where you'll be able to get the best out of the parenting that you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. For me, parenting style that was brought up with, well, we used traditional African as the term to use, but I was even looking more of maybe strict or protective as compared to people that are more open, because I've seen families that were more open to their kids, maybe whether exploring, going out, and all of that. So I've been in the mix of people that have been from protective homes, and I've been in the mix of people that have been from more open-minded homes, so to say, as compared to what we are used to being what we're used to. I just want to point out some of the what do you call it? Some of the challenges with coming from a protective home is that as much as your kid can be wise, can be intelligent, can achieve a lot, there's this you will limit that child from social intelligence, from community, from what do you call it, from a whole bunch of things that this child is meant to be able to learn. So now you keep a child locked up, and then you just send the child at a certain point out into the world. A lot of things that the child hasn't seen would start coming up. A lot of things that the child might have had. So now in your head or in your thinking, you think, oh, my child is a good child. He's been able to do this. But one thing we know is that you can never say you are strong at this until you've actually lifted. How would you say you're strong if you're not lifted like some weight? Do you understand?
Tested or
you need
tempted
to you need to be tested. And I feel like that's one thing that protective type of parenting has really
I don't think
limited.
protective is the right word. I think
Overprotective, yes.
Definitely.
I think that's the word, overprotective. And you limit your kids. So you see, and okay, I just want to point this out because I have something like quite close to home that had happened. Yeah, and you see that, okay, so now the thing with this protective stuff is that, let's say you agree, you achieve this stuff, yeah? You're protective over protective kids, teens. The problem you have is that you now have young adults that still have that inner child that they are trying to heal. Do you understand? So there's always an inner child in there that either he's trying to heal. So you might think, oh, my child didn't do this thing at a teen age, and you think, oh, he's an adult now, he won't do it. And guess what? Is that early adults? You see 20, 21, 22. Yeah, for people that have been from overly protective homes, that's when you tend to see them misbehaving, because that's when maybe most times they have access to go out and all of that. Most times teens is from 14, 13, 15, you start seeing all that exploration. But I feel like people that are coming from very protective homes that have been able to achieve that, and specifically speaking because of the environment we're in, and we have a lot of that here, you see this type of misbehavior at early adulthood just because they've been restricted from that thing. So something that someone was meant to have dealt with, or I don't know, lack of better words, that youthful exuberance that you're meant to have dealt with at your teens age, and the person wouldn't be able to do that.
There was a time where my mom would struggle to get me to stay at home. Like, it was a problem. I'm sure all of us we went through that. Like, your parents they wanted you to be at home,
but now you don't want to leave the house
now,
sometimes.
Now you don't even want to leave the
like
house.
What am I going to?
People, I feel like we must understand that there are times and seasons, and as people, we grow. You get, so there's a time where that child there's a lot of energy that wants to just burn out. You get, I feel like we must create the right atmosphere for these people to be able to
thrive and express themselves,
and thrive and explore, because there's so much energy, and that is why a lot of children become restless, and then they become destructive. Why? Because you're giving the guy sugar. There's a lot of sugar, there's a lot of glucose, energy, and there's nothing to do with that energy. So he's definitely going to pull down the TV. But if the child is athletic, or he's doing something with that energy, you make him to walk, or you give him
why did you use pull down the TV? You break on that TV for us.
I did. You did it.
At all.
No, my wife give me.
Nah.
But then the point is, like, there's just this energy that needs to be used, you know. And then going back to one of the things you said, overprotective parents. If you protect the child in the house, are you going to protect the child out there?
Out there.
That is where a lot of parents still do that. That is where children commit, let's say they commit crimes, and you see the parents going way overboard, trying to shield, and they keep covering, and this child is 35. The father is still covering. This child is 40. The father is still
Covering.
like he's still fending for the child, making sure that the child is okay, paying, like, ahead of some people that some like grown adults who, like, they still depend on their parents. They are married, they have a family, but they have one small little issue, they are running back to their parents, you know. For me, one of the things
This is not to say that family support is a bad
family
thing.
support is even totally different. It just means
But it shouldn't
support
keep you
is-
dependent.
Yes, you shouldn't be dependent on the support. It means that, okay, you are doing well, but then there are times where things don't, really balance like that. You can say, okay, half. But there are people that their parents actually, like, take entire control and charge of their finances, or they can't make a decision, they can't make any important decision. They have to go back to their mom. It just tells you that they are overly dependent on their parents, and I don't think that is a good thing at all.
I'm sorry, Kash, I know you've spoken for a while, but I just want to, there was something you mentioned that is very interesting, or that I found nice. You said something about, like, the whole sugar and them having a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to point out that a lot of times parents would rather see their kids safe than for them to channel that energy into something productive that the child might actually be interested in. Now, it's not only about books. It's not about, if you see your kid keeps on picking up sticks and he's hitting everywhere with the sticks, now if you say, Kai, you're making noise, or stop doing this, how about you take him to go and learn drumming or drums or something? Do you understand?
But you need serious insights to even accomplish that.
Yeah, you need to, but instead of that complain and all of that.
Bro, let me not lie to you. It's very annoying. You know why?
Oh,
The reason why it's funny is because, first of all, me, I'm a drummer.
okay.
You understand? And I started playing drums at a very, very thin. Like, when I created my own
Drum
my
set.
own drum set. With
So you're a
broken
noisemaker.
bucket. I was always making noise.
Nice.
I was always making noise. So one of my uncle's son, Peniel, he wanted to be like, when I got close to the family, and then we were really close, and I was a drummer in church, and they used to see me. All of them, they admired me and all of that. So once he was like, okay, he wants to learn how to play drums. So I bought him drumsticks. I did small drum lesson class for him. That boy was moving around with that stick everywhere. Like, you come to the house, you are just tired, you just want to catch a breath and maybe just rest a little bit. You're like, "Krrrr." It's very annoying, So you can imagine what parents have to go through, especially parents that have a lot of kids. You understand? This one is making noise there, that one is shouting, that one is singing, that one is fighting, the older one is choking the brother.
No, my point. Then you should learn wrestling. My point is that, the point I'm just trying to make is that in parenting, you have to be very intentional. There are little notes that your kids will drop for you
That you must pick up.
you must pick up. You are the adults there. You can't wait for your child to come and say, "Oh, funny enough, sometimes the kids can even come up and say, I want to do this." And at that moment, you might just look at it as, oh, it's just a kid requesting for something, and just let it, not even pay it no mind at the end of the day. Meanwhile, it's something that you can hone.
This man, Cosmos, what's that his name? Is it Cosmos Madukuye? Or there's this entrepreneur I follow on Instagram. He was saying that parents are dream killers to a very, very large extent. That parents are dream killers. That he started driving bikes at the age of like 16. Yeah, but then his son, he had bikes, like he had power bikes, all of those mountain bikes and all those things. He has them. But then one of his sons wanted, like all his children, he placed a total ban that nobody should drive bikes because it was too dangerous. He felt like, okay, it's dangerous for them. They could die. They could have an accident. Anything.
Yeah.
But him on his own, he started driving when he was 16. You understand? But now his own children that are way over 16, he doesn't want them to drive. Why? Because he's scared that
Very overprotective.
Do you understand? Overprotective. But then one of his child was very, very stubborn, and that one will steal the key and go and drive the power bike. Today, him and that child, they drive power bikes together. You get? So you must, at the end of the day, you must give room for expression. for people to express, and their parents must be able, they must be very, very willing and pay keen attention to, like, okay, notice that, okay, this guy has he has this desire towards this particular line, so try and see how you can propel this particular guy to go towards that particular line and just find expression. Kashim, you've not said anything.
Yeah,
Like, we've been holding you back.
yeah. So
Like
sorry
you
for
guys have
holding the
said
mic.
so many things, but that just keep on bringing memories back. But the recent one I had, I had a friend come visit me, so we took a late night walk in the area, and then he was talking to me about how, he felt about his parenting issues, and then there was a lot we could relate about. He was saying that, okay, he has just finished NYC, then his pops is asking him, like, what next, because, like, and then he's like, okay, let me figure it out, but then there's no space to figure it out. Like, they want him to have it figured out, and then he was annoyed because he was like, okay, all they've given him is, it's not as if it's a bad thing, but all they gave him was an education, a standard education. Now they want him to manifest something that requires more than a standard education.
And then have their capacity.
Exactly. And then they don't even know how he's going to get there, but they want him to get there. So, like, he's feeling pressured because it's like, now every time he has a meeting, how far, what's going on, it's soon time for you to move out. And like, he just graduated like the year before last. This NYSC has finished, so he's still trying to get his feet up, but now it's like he has no assistance. You understand? There's no, like, he knows what he wants to do, okay, but then the resources, the materials, it's like he knows that his parents can't provide it the way he wants it to move forward. It also had me thinking, is like, your parents can train you in a standardized setting, but not in a practical setting. Like, your parents can tell you, okay, they know what is best for you, like, okay, school wise. That's like from our parents now.
Yeah.
But then looking forward is like, there is a holistic training that you need to go through too as parent and child. Like, you guys, apart from the authority, there needs to be a relationship. There's a lot of experiences that our parents went through that if they are open enough to share them with us, we'll be better people. Like, we would have gotten a lot, even if it's emotional stability. Nobody has to go to therapy all the time or all this depression and things. We don't really subscribe to that. But then if you have that actual relationship, even not just your parent, but even with a mentor, you can move forward. You can really get some things out of the way that are obstructing your clarity or peace of mind.
I feel like all of us went through this same kind of situation.
Yeah.
Why? Because a lot of our parents just felt like, okay, what you need to be successful in life is to go to school, graduate, have good grades. A lot of us, we are doing things today that is out of sheer stubbornness. You understand? And you cannot totally, the older we get, I tend to realize that you cannot blame these people. You cannot blame your parents. You know why? Because with the, like I always say, it is with the information that they have that they made decisions. As at that time, education was, like they say, the key to success. As at that time. Now, the primitiveness of what we now assume is education is another thing. Because a lot of people just assume that education is going to college, But then, right now, a lot of us would argue that education is not just going. In fact, honestly speaking, education is not just going to college. There are a lot of information that is out there, which is educative. That with that alone, you are good. People can. Someone said. YouTube has trained more millionaires than most universities. Do you get there are informations, there are classes that you can just take 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and you are good. Right now, with the way the world is moving and the way the world is going, Silicon Valley, there's always a new tech in 6 months, in 3 months, in like 2 months. You get, so it means that going to the traditional school system, college, is not just enough. Why? Because you are going there for 4 years or 5 years, depending on what course you are studying. But then there's information that is coming out every 3 months that is solving the problem of today. Now, let us understand that what we want is to solve problem. It's not just to go and have a certificate. You have a certificate that is not solving any problem. You are part of the problem.
No, in fact, the truth is that the way you make money is solving problems. That's the only true way to actually make money. Yeah?
So you have to understand that these informations that are everywhere right now, you can just take short courses here and there and then have an understanding of how AI works, how this works. Now you are telling your parents about AI, they don't understand. But then they have to like force you to go to school and go and learn all of these things that as it is right now. Everything majority of us have studied in school is the problem of yesterday. It's not applicable in 2025. It's not applicable in the future. So we must now begin to like study, like as regards to what you are saying, we must now begin to study for the problems that we are going to solve tomorrow. Now, somebody who is studying a particular course, whatever it is, maybe accounting, maybe banking and finance, maybe medicine, all of those things, they are problems of yesterday. With the solution of today, some of those courses may not be able, in fact, will not be able to solve today's problem. So we must understand that what we are learning has to be in line with what is going to solve tomorrow's problem.
Admission just came out, so I'm not sure I should
Yeah,
be saying what you just said.
the truth is,
But-
a lot of those people they are wasting their time.
Okay, facts. All right, I have fireball question time. Yeah. So this point we're asking any weird question just to see we're trying to put the host on the spot practically.
No, all of us are
And
the host.
we're all definitely so. But today's question is drum roll, and the question for today
Come drum roll, I know
is your wife giving birth. One has to stay. One has to go. Do you get the
I
question?
don't understand.
Point of it is that your wife is in that situation. You can either lose the kid
Oh, okay.
and save your wife,
Mm.
or save your wife and lose the kid.
Lose the kid.
Yeah. So what are you?
Save my wife.
You save your wife now. You
Yeah,
can
save
always
your
have.
wife.
You can always have another child.
So you know you're ready to put in the work again. I know you like that. Wow.
Easy tax. Can you not go like that kind of work?
Okay.
It's very,
Like
very
the trauma will be
easy
painful, but it
Yeah,
has
the
to be
trauma
done.
will be
tax.
there.
See, this is another topic entirely.
Yeah, no, but that's why it's a fireball
It's another
question.
topic
That's why it's a
entirely.
fireball
But
question.
it's my wife. To be
Yeah.
honest, and this is not even because we are on live on camera or anything. You can always have another child. You can always have my parents. I lost siblings. I lost people who were older than me, and we are still here. So, but if you lose the wife,
Yeah.
that's like the.
But you can have another wife, yeah.
Yes, you can have another
She
wife.
won't be the
but
same
it
You have
person.
will
like
not be
two
the
wives,
same.
man.
Yes. Yeah, you are right. Yeah,
Mhm.
but then, like you said, you have an opportunity to save one.
Yeah.
This one that is coming, you don't even know that one.
Okay.
I mean, you don't even know the
So
child.
now stranger.
They are stranger
We will come cause SF, man, for inside your enjoyment. No, man.
But already this one that is here, at least you already know this one. You are now saving the one that you don't know for the one that you know. Like technically, it doesn't make any sense. So when I see men who say stuff like, oh, they are going to choose to save their child and allow the wife to die, that's dumb, man.
I agree with that.
That's very dumb.
That's facts.
Save your wife, man.
Save your wife. But
Save your wife
Still get a
every
prenup also. Save your, but get a prenup. Yeah.
If you know who you're going to marry,
Protect yourself.
if you know who you're going to marry, you will need a prenup.
What?
If you know who you're marrying, but you will need a
Let's not even
prenup.
go into this.
That
conversation.
yeah.
I feel like
That's
Let's
Ima is about to blow. Don't get him there. He has a lot to say about that.
Do prenup, oh. So,
Now you are rooting for Pep. You want to protect.
Okay, no, what happened to
Alright,
Pep?
no. Different topic. Sorry. Okay. All right. Cool. It's fine. Well, okay. Back to what you would do differently
As
as parents. Yeah.
Sorry, will you flog?
Will I flog?
Beat him?
I believe that different forms of discipline will be necessary. There are times that you would use maybe a more soft or a softer approach towards discipline, but there are times that obviously you would need a more stern and coerce way to discipline your kids
That's
when they
what
are
of
being
you
very
will you
naughty.
Yeah, I will do that.
Did your parents flog you?
Shit.
Remove your shirt. Show him the back. You have battle scars, bro. I'm just joking,
These
dude.
ain't tattoos, these are scars.
Yeah, man. I
XP.
got it. I collected it a lot, man. I was like,
He collected it. was it that in the night when you are sleeping already, you just come? Whoop,
I have experience.
is
with
it?
this particular one.
no, like, okay. My own
did you
back
know?
was mostly around me. I was a very hyperactive child, so
Okay.
I remember one time I broke a vase
Yeah.
And then the way I broke that vase, but I knew I was just going to like, as I was
Collect.
came,
You know you're dead.
I was just came by, just saw me kneeling down. He was like, "What's going on?" As I just told him, he was like, "I'm sorry." He didn't say anything. He let me go. Then he was like, "Okay, come back."
I can't move this guy.
He's like, as I came back, man,
You had to at least something to remind you.
I was hot, man.
See,
like,
let me tell you, I don't know, I can't remember what I did. Yeah?
Tell us what you did.
That's what I'm saying.
Why we are
This
interested in it.
is a very, very, very long time ago. I think this shit happened in like, that time we were still in Sokoto, so it should be around like 1997 or 8.
Damn.
Damn.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
go.
I can't remember what I did, but I shall know that day I knew I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked up.
Obviously.
And my elder sister reported me. I was sleeping.
Your elder sister.
Yes, I was sleeping. My mom woke me up with she naked me, come on my clothes, lay me down. She lashed me. I cannot. If there's any beating, any epic beating that my mom has done, I cannot forget. I can't even remember exactly what I did, but I know that day I got the ass whooping that I deserved. It was
Changed your life.
was an epic whooping.
Made you wonder if you were adopted.
Then there was one again. I can remember this one. I don't know whether it's this side. If you notice my head, is it this one or this one? I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this one. I go watch Champions League. This was like, it should be 0809. That season when Man U win Champions League. Ha!
No, I thought you guys lost. I thought it was that back
No,
man.
no.
That be funny.
If I had lost, it would have been more painful.
Yeah, that was the point.
You
now.
know, that I think it was that season I went to watch. You know, it's not like now that almost every house there's a DSTV.
Back then.
We used to go to viewing center. We would try and save like from like Monday to Tuesday. You start saving from like Wednesday, Thursday for the next. You know that time Champions was Tuesday and Wednesday.
And that time,
7:45.
Yeah, Manu was still winning.
That time Man U was.
But not
the good old
anymore.
days. Don't worry, the good old days will be back.
Okay.
I doubt
Okay,
it,
it will be back.
but go on.
Bad Belle, it will be back.
Go on.
So we went to watch Champions League and I came back, and then this was like 10 something. You know that time Champions League was 7:45, and I will always go out and I'll come back this. My father will beat me. That day he gave me one slap here. When he gave me that slap, I can't knock my head for the other side of the wall.
What's that law of moving objects or something?
Newton's law.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh, yeah, Mute experienced it.
Guy, when he whooped me, if you don't see my father be like giant, very tall, huge, and big. When he gave me that slap, the way I hit my head on the wall, when I raised the head, this place just swell up. Boop. Now he come begin the press up. The time he say sorry, the press up. And in fact, the pressing was very, very, very painful. Like it was so painful. But the swelling was very big. See, up to now the swelling didn't go down. So to tell you that I got a lot of ass whooping, and this same ass whooping I got, my children, they are going to get it. They are going.
The legacy continues.
The legacy was continuing. I feel like people like us, without beating, before no normal. Probably I for don't die by now because I'm a very, very stubborn person.
So you were saved by the king.
I was saved by the rod.
The rod was.
The staff. That staff. So I just feel like
They didn't spare the rod on you.
my parents, but you know there are parents that maybe one of them is the bad cop, the other one is the two of my parents na bad cop.
Na bad cop.
The two. Some days my mother is the good cop, another day my father is the bad cop. Some days my father is the bad cop. But all of them, I shall collect.
But there's something that you said that was very important. After you finish getting, your Newton's law, your reaction to the action. At the end of the day, it was still your dad that was the one that still took care of your wounds. I just think it's a very important thing that in parenting is that because you are mixing two styles now, you must ensure that in disciplining your child, you don't remove that love, or you don't forget, or you don't do it in such a way that they don't see.
You don't beat them into numbness.
The love. And there was an example I gave, and something that we have to be careful with as well. Parents are also human beings as well. They have emotions and stuff, and they're dealing with things too personally. But there's this example sometimes that because when you ask any parents, when you talk, especially about beating, they'll be like, I did it out of love. You understand? You say, I did it out of love. Or some things I
Tough
did
love.
was out of love. Do you understand? For you. But sometimes you have to understand when you say, no, don't do this. And your child is like, I'm not really sure this person loves me. You can also get that. So that's why it's very important and it's essential. And I feel it's something that in African homes we lack is being vocal with our love. It seems like an awkward conversation. It seems like a weird thing to have. It's like challenge for the day. If anybody's willing, if anybody was down to do it, can anyone call their dad now and just say, "Hi, I'm on the pod and I love you." Anybody willing? Damn, nobody can do it.
I can write him a letter. But like,
No, I need someone to
But-
do it. Ima, please, your phone is here. Ima, do it. Do it. Call him, let's hear. Yeah,
I don't have any time.
well, okay, but you see, but that's my point. My point is that in African homes, it seems like a weird thing to do because tough love is the most celebrated thing. But at the end of the day, you need that love to be moving around. I need to know that my brother loves me. There's nothing weird. There's nothing weird about it. I can remember the first time my dad told me he loves me, and I was like, hello, like, hello, sorry, sir. Like, because, but over time, it took some time.
Wow.
Over time, yeah, there was a day that he actually said, I love you. It might be that I was broke that day, but regardless, I still said I love you back, and it got better. Jigger. So I feel like African homes, we need to start incorporating this as much as we want to do that tough love. Imagine if every time your child only sees that tough side of you. How do you want this child to know that there's evidence of love without you showing the evidence of love? So I feel like it's one very bad stereotype that we have down here. We keep on saying, oh, my actions is what shows love. Yes, quite all right, yes. But then I try to tell me that you won't feel good if your dad said I love you or your mom said I love you. Like deep down, forget all the tough and all the things that we've been through, that experience.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very necessary.
I mean,
or I will
45
advocate
years.
for that for us Africa down here a lot more than what we do.
I think another thing that I would advocate for, like apart from discipline, that's just you when you see your child going down the path that you know is wrong and then you're trying to correct them. I think one thing I also like to do as a parent is challenge my kids' convictions. Like when my kid comes to me with some things like I want to do this. Now, not to say that I will I say kill their self-esteem, but then I'd like to have a conversation with you. Like, okay, I want to be, let's say child tells me I want to be a footballer. And he's like, oh, you want to be a footballer? Okay. Look at your interest about football. Like, I want to challenge your convictions to a point so that they are stronger. Because, challenges can come from a place of love too. At least if you can handle that from a place of love, you can handle that from anywhere else in the world. It's like, okay, I want to become a footballer. Okay, let's go there. Let's see what you can do. Let's now I'm accompanying you. I'm challenging you. Like I'm making sure that everything you're doing is intentional. It's not just in the heat of the moment or the spur of an idea. It's actually you pushing towards that. Like it'd be better to do that, more powerful to have that in a child's mindset than to just, there's a way you can love somebody to death. You can choke somebody you love. I don't know if you guys get where I'm coming from. That statement is like you blindly accommodate the person until the person becomes their own demise or their own downfall. Yeah.
I like in rounding up, to be honest, I know that my dad loves me. Like loves me a lot. But you see, I feel like one of the issues is trying to communicate that love. For me, I'm someone that thinks a lot. If like let's say my father beats me or disciplines me or does something, I go back and I really ask myself, okay, what did I really do? And most of the time I'm like, okay, this was wrong. Probably you may assume or think that okay, maybe the reaction was a little bit over, maybe he overreacted and stuff. But you shall know that your parents love you. Like there was one time, oh God, I have a lot of stories to tell about my father. There was one time I went to play Sega in game house. I was playing Sega. I just finished beat the guy.
Some people don't know Sega, it's a game console.
You can Google it. I was like playing Mortal Kombat with one guy. I was very good with gaming. So I just finished I don't do the guy like 13 hits combo. The guy blood don't finish. make I give am brutality. Then my father give me slap.
You collect real brutality.
My father give me slap. That's why. Oh, it was a crazy time, man. But generally, we must understand that our parents loved us.
Yeah.
Very, very honest. They loved us. They had limited understanding, limited knowledge, but with what they had, they did the best they could. And I believe that is why a lot of us are sitting here today. Because if they didn't beat us as much as they beat us, if they didn't correct us, guide us, we'll probably not be here. You understand? A lot of us would probably maybe be dead, would have carried arms,
would have been left to something terrible.
Yes, but then it tells you that work that they put in, like it paid off. For me, somebody like me to be here, calm and focused with life, trying to like chase dreams, chase goals, and do amazing things. It just tells you that a lot of prayer. There are times where, like, I hear my mom praying for me. Like she's praying, like you can hear her calling your name, crying, and if you listen to Speed Lane, one of my records, there's one line I was saying something like, I hear my mom praying for the black sheep. I felt like that, as at that time I was the black sheep, and my mom would pray for me and call out my name. There's no way my life can bend. Even if I want to try and say, okay, I want to like self-destruct and all of that, there's no way it can happen, because there's the prayer of a mother, there's the guidance, there's the blessing and all of this, and those things work. You see the difference with people who don't have that. Like, I barely fall into trouble. I've never been in a police station before. Like, I've never been locked up. You get my friends growing up, one way or the other, something makes them, they are locked in a cell for like 2 days. I don't know what police cell looks like. Now, it's not because I'm a good person or it's just because sometimes, yes, I intentionally try to avoid anything that is going to land me in trouble. But there are people who, you don't have to do anything to fall in trouble, especially in Nigeria. You can just be outside your house. Police will just come and raid you and pack you up. Okay. So there's the grace, and then there's the prayer of parents and all of those things. So I just feel
Excellent.
like it was a good one. It was a good call. Do you have anything to say again, Jason?
Nah,
It's all good from here.
Okay, man. Okay, fam. We really, really appreciate you guys. We thank you for staying with us this long. Yeah, you too. Thank you for staying with us this long. And please tune in next week, Friday, for another amazing, dope episode of the Jesus on Glasses podcast. See you guys. Please drop your comments, drop your likes, repost, and just help us promote this shit that we're doing. Thank you. See you on the next one. Have a nice time.
God bless.
God bless.